I have a great idea for an intro, actually. We actually have had some feedback about Murder Schmurder. And
we got an email?
No emails.
Email us. Don't email trashville@gmail.com. Just email us. Anything.
People don't email. Oh, I got an idea. Text Joseph at 615.
Okay. So one of the biggest criticisms is they say that we all sound alike. We all sound like white guys, which is very hurtful for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, maybe you should brown it up a little bit, Jamie.
Well, that was Austin. We know that was Austin.
So my intro idea...
Yeah, maybe go off the content of our words.
The intro idea is we have to workshop catchphrases.
Non-white catchphrases?
Or just catchphrases in general to help
so we can
decipher
throw
who's-
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like... I don't know, like I'm gonna say like I don't know, let's say like Bazinga baby girl.
Bazinga was mine, damn it. Fine.
We just all start saying Bazinga. Damn it, we're homogenized again.
How about this? How about we do variations on Bazinga? So that we can have our own special flavor of Bazinga.
What's your Bazinga?
Bazungu.
Is it
How's
like
that?
Celebratory?
Bazungu.
Because it
No.
sounds kind of sad.
It is sad.
Like things went like belly up and you're like Bazungu.
I think Bazungu is when like it's so stupid. I think it's what happens when like
We're in
I'm
it
when I'm now Bazungu's a thing now.
Yeah.
Put it on a t-shirt. The shit's staying. I think it's when you're probably all familiar with this moment when you're listening to a long fucking diatribe about how sad and bloody something is, and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next part, and then it just goes. And then he killed another sex worker, and you're like, oh, Bazungu.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like where you're like, I knew it was going to get worse.
Okay. Joseph's is Bazungu.
All right.
For all the listeners out there.
Can mine be kind of like, that guy's dead and shit? Like, that's what I say at the end of,
I like that.
At the end,
I mean, that's
at the end
fine.
of each, like,
I like
you
how
know,
you
death.
yell into your mic. But
Yeah, I like how you blew out the levels real quick.
Yeah, you did absolutely.
well, that's my catchphrase. Right. I thought that's what we were doing.
Your catchphrase is you. Just like my dad's catchphrase.
Your catchphrase is fucking up the
Bazungu.
game in your channel. Great.
if you're gonna yell, lean back a little. Can you do that? Actually,
That guy's dead and shit.
yeah,
That's good.
That was better.
Yeah,
Actually, I want to sample that.
yeah.
There, boom. I win. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
monthly-
sorry.
Do you win
Do you want
catchphrases?
yours? If you need time, mine is. I think I'm gonna go with was it Bazinga? Bazinga
Bazinga?
baby girl.
Bazinga
and that's when
Baby
the
Girl's yours. Yeah.
that's when they catch the perp. Like it's all come together
that's
now,
good.
baby. Like the maze is over. We caught you, Bazinga baby girl.
That guy's dead and shit.
Can my catchphrase just be an unprompted rant about socioeconomic factors? Is that okay? If I just every once in a while be like, yeah, and Lenin wouldn't have stood for this. These motherfuckers would have been gulagged in about 5.6 seconds. Is
That is, yeah. That fits your character.
that okay?
yeah, actually, that
I
is
think
very
so.
fitting.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
You can do both.
I mean,
Okay. Bazungu and then just references to communists.
I feel like everybody already knows me. I'm the one that's lowering the bar all the time.
They say we all sound the same.
that's
so
my
apparently
game.
you sound enough like us.
That's weird.
It is weird. I would have thought we at least sounded a little different.
I thought so.
Like
too.
just tonally or
My
whatever.
mind went to a horrible one in the sense of
Maybe
it's-
I'll just
it's
start talking like this.
It's just not funny. You know, that's what mine meant, and that would be Bazornkle.
Because if I was like this,
Bazornkle.
Yeah, what's-
Bazornkle.
what's
I like
Bazornkle?
the
I
KLE.
don't know. It's just bad. That's all.
if I was like this,
That's all I
my
got.
catchphrase would be "Hi-ho!"
That's good. That's good. Can you just do that the rest of the episode?
Right, I'll just talk like this for the rest of the episode.
Just keep talking over people.
That's
in
my
that
catchphrase.
So, anyways, like I was saying the other day, it was really a pretty cool thing that happened to me.
Hi-ho!
Okay, great. Thanks, Austin. But no, but okay, thanks, Austin.
In case you
Great.
guys have never
But what I was
seen
trying to say-
what Austin looks like, he looks like the little sweet dude from those old Dr. Pepper commercials It's the sweet one.
Oh, the little Prince knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's that height and everything. It's crazy.
He's actually standing in the chair.
Yeah,
to get
no,
to
like
the
we
microphone.
we have like a whole series of apparatuses holding him in place. He's actually, it's kind of like we built like a little mech suit that has a mic in it for like a little person. It's like action figure size, but it's huge for him.
Yeah, we could just do like a little voice changer on my mic.
What if we auto tune?
Right? Can I sound more black? Will that make you happy,
Jesus Christ.
listener?
No.
Listeners, can I sound like Terry Crews for you? Terry, that's his name, right? Yeah.
Terry Crews, yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, I want you to go home and just Google black scent voice changers and just see what you can come up with. Come back next
I
month.
feel like that'd be a relatively easy Google search.
Okay, but
No.
here's the genie's wish of this scenario. What if we all worked on our black scents, and then next thing you know, we come in and we still all sound the same?
Ugh.
Damn it!
Fuck, man.
Shit.
Got your ass.
Actually, I want us all to sound like
That's my new catchphrase. Is got your ass.
I want us all to sound like Blade from the movie Blade.
I don't think I've seen Blade.
What?
Are
I
you
know, I
fucking
know.
kidding
You
me
are
right
not a
now?
man
I
unless
know.
you've seen
You
Blade.
leave
I'm the
this
worst.
house, go watch Blade,
At
and
least I
come
know.
back.
I know that Wesley Snipes is Blade. I know that's
Dude,
yeah,
Blade's
I know who it is.
incredible.
Yeah. Watch-
First R-rated Marvel
Terror-
movie, fucking like good actual comic book movie.
Yeah.
Terrible 2000s music. There was a blood rave. I mean, come on,
It's-
Dude, the blood.
It's awesome. The
It's
second
peak.
one is badass. It's got Guillermo del Toro as a director. And he
That's
fucking kills
right, he
it.
did.
It actually
Third,
is really
Blade
good.
Trinity is fucking
I do
dog
love
shit.
Guillermo
Yeah,
del
it's
Toro.
terrible.
It's so bad. It's got Ryan Reynolds.
Reynolds, and he's just, like,
doing
doing
that
Reynolds.
pre-Deadpool thing where he's just Ryan Reynolds, and you're like, what are you even doing, dude?
Ryan Reynolds is always Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's a person I like to see on film.
Yeah, but it
But
does
there's
get old
moments
after a
where it's
little
just
bit.
like,
Yeah.
okay, buddy.
You're like, all right, double R, chill the fuck out.
I'm just gonna talk in this condescending tone because I'm Ryan Reynolds, and that's what I do.
I will say that new soccer
That's pretty
show.
good.
That new soccer show is fucking
Maybe-
awesome.
Maybe that's.
I've
what I'll
heard
do.
that.
Welcome
yeah.
to Wrexham. It's some heart lifting.
Wrexham,
Shit,
I hardly
dude.
know him. That's my catchphrase.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they called me in high school.
So we're gonna have a bunch of different catchphrases. Try to keep up, listeners.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Today's episode is gonna start off.
This is Jamie talking right
Yeah.
now. in case you weren't sure.
Bazinga, baby girl.
Should we just announce ourselves every time we start talking?
Jamie here. Anyway.
Yeah, as long as you finish your sentences with "over," I think we'll all
Yeah.
talking to a microphone, like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
over.
Joseph, I think talking like this might get old after a while. Over.
Austin, I think so too. Over.
I already hate this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I'm
feels
not
bad
even
doing
going
it.
to participate. Yeah, I'm not participating.
Okay,
in that.
today's topic, today's true crime topic is failed terrorist attacks.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Shit.
Is that a good one?
Bazungu.
Okay, so I
Failed terrorist attacks,
Failed-
right?
yeah,
Okay,
this
hell
is all
yeah.
failed terrorist attacks. So some are comical, some are not that comical. Different parts of it are comical. So I have a preface for this. To start off, I have to say it's hard to research terrorist attacks because it seems as though most of the recon and investigation is held as classified. As you can imagine, the government doesn't necessarily want it common knowledge on how it acquires its intelligence.
Since when?
And one
Do they do bad stuff?
like in one part, like where they got like information on a future terrorist attack, they pretty much didn't say, but came out like, we have acquired this information from past acquired terrorists. And then people were like, oh, you mean from Guantanamo Bay? And then pretty much just like, no.
Somewhere else. Where we don't torture people.
Right. No, Guantanamo Cove.
Did y'all ever see that tweet that's like, if you didn't know what this tweet meant, it sounds like you're having a great time. I want to go waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Out of context, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
out of context, I'd be like, sign me up,
Sign
dude.
me up.
Right.
How
Let's have
much
some
is it?
rum and cokes. That sounds great.
I haven't waterboarded since I was 13.
Give me those jahubis so I can get some waterboarding.
Hey, there's not a lot of girls here. What's wrong?
Hey, what's up, girl? I want to hobby your lobbies.
Anyway, so my sources.
That guy looks mad.
So my sources do come with a lot of how the media reported these incidents.
Super trustworthy, got you.
Yeah, little from the government releases, and some conjecture from outlets, and of course my own conjecture at the end.
Right.
I also want to add that I do not condone violent actions that are done against any state. Violence begets only more violence. I'm only here to state funny moments in it. And it's nothing more, nothing less. But I was rewatching my favorite movie of all
Terminator
time,
2?
Terminator 2. And so I was like, oh, this is kind of funny because if you remember in Terminator 2, the main plot point at the end is a huge domestic terrorist attack. And it wasn't until like while doing this
Super true.
research that I was like, oh yeah, that's a terrorist attack. And it went, well. And, for most people, you would never bat an eyelash because you're on the side of the protagonist. Everything makes sense.
Well, yeah, because the dude, Sarah Connor's just a fucking maniac who busted into his house and was like, I have to kill you for the future. And he's like, what? I
Who
was
are
eating
you?
supper. Like, yeah.
So like, keep that in mind where, I love Terminator 2 and I was always on the side of Sarah Connor.
Sorry, I
and
so
blowing up-
thought you were about to say, I love terrorism. It was the term.
my point is that we're often looking from the other side on these terrorist attacks. So while I'm dunking on these people, for a lot of the people that we're going to be talking about, these are the incredibly disenfranchised people that feel as though they're left with little to no options onto how to appropriately fix these huge socioeconomic issues that don't want to get fixed by the powers that be.
True. I mean, when you have nothing to vote for and no option to do anything about it, and the only thing that you can think of is to get a big gun and do something. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get,
Yeah.
every person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. That's enough of the fucking hand wringing. Let's fucking hear some funny shit, dude.
Okay. First one.
Over.
First one. Bazinga, baby girl. Got it right on the money. The first one is the attack on the USS The Sullivan, which I think is also hilarious. So the USS The Sullivan is one of those giant
Big boats.
big boats, so with the ships and the stuff like that.
Aircraft carrier.
Aircraft carriers.
Oh, they carry the aircraft.
But I don't
Why
know
aren't
why.
they flying? You wouldn't need aircraft carriers if they were always flying.
Jet fuel, baby.
Go ahead, Jamie.
USS The Sullivan. Okay, so to set the scene, Bin Laden had issued 2 declarations of war against the United States, one in 1996 and one in 1998, and from his perspective, apparently, was ignored. His attacks against the United States embassies in Kenya and Tanzania in 1998 resulted in intense criticism of bin Laden, even in extremist circles, because there was a high death and injury toll amongst innocent civilians. Many of those were actually Muslims, the very people he's trying to stand up for. And then on top of that, this resulted in more of the United States military taking part and getting into what's it called, the Middle East. So the American response to the embassy bombings came in the form of Tomahawk cruise missile strikes from U.S. Navy ships against al-Qaeda training camps in Afghanistan specifically. In the ensuing years, the United States would ship Tomahawk missiles and more anti-aircraft assistance to the Yemen region through the use of gigantic naval warships, the USS Sullivan. Or USS The Sullivan. It's not just
It's USS The Sullivan?
Yeah.
That does not roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Good job, Navy.
I mean, I don't really know if they're known for their marketing team. Other than getting recruits.
I mean, I don't know
getting
if you've seen
recruits.
those ads.
Yeah,
I mean, but also you park someone in a fucking high school with a bunch of 16
We'll say that they
All right.
utilize all of their marketing staff for recruits.
For
now,
recruiting
once it comes
children.
to ship naming or,
That's right.
Right.
or naming.
I guess it's also like it's all 17-year-olds.
missions or
yeah, and they're all just
protocols.
like, what if we called it the fucking murder wasp? And they're like, we can't call it that. And it's like, how about the Sullivan? And they're like, good enough. Paint it.
If I had a
Get
book,
it out.
I would call it the USSSs.
Okay.
Okay.
ESS.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good. The USS.
Yeah.
Paint a big snake on the side of it.
The USS.
Yeah, my ship's gonna be called. My ship's gonna be called Snake Jazz.
Snake Jazz.
Okay, now now the information that I'm pulling, I'll get it more into this later of why I'm quoting my sources on this, and we'll get more into it later. But the information that I'm pulling from this is lifted straight up from the United States Navy issued website, quote, Naval History and Heritage Command, end quote. This is a verbatim reading of why bin Laden chose these targets. Bin Laden chose to attack a warship to demonstrate to the world that he was not afraid of the United States and to provoke the United States by flagrantly attacking a symbol of America's might and pride. He chose a military target to preclude Muslim casualties. He chose a warship because warships had attacked him and because he found the presence of American warships in a port in his ancestral homeland of Yemen to be particularly offensive. He chose the method of attack, suicide bombing, to ensure the effectiveness of the attack and to demonstrate to the world the resolve of those committed to his cause, who would go willingly to their deaths to accomplish their mission. By attacking a U.S. Navy warship, bin Laden intended for there to be absolutely no ambiguity that when he, quote, declared war, he meant it. So,
Okay.
on the first Al Qaeda
That's
attempt,
hilarious. This is funny, JD. I like it.
So on the first Al Qaeda attempt to attack a U.S. warship in Aden, the guided missile destroyer, the Sullivans, in 2000. So the game plan was this. They wanted to pull off this small covert mission with massive casualties. So they wanted to get a small boat and just basically fill it up with metal and explosives and just jam it to the side
Into the
of
hull, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. Shrapnel, blow up. Boom.
Right.
There
Yeah.
you go. Okay.
But they're trying to pick a boat that's small enough to where like it doesn't seem like it could cause any harm.
So like a canoe.
Well, I guess a little bit bigger than a canoe, because this is what happens. They apparently load this boat to the teeth with explosives. They send it out into the water and it sinks.
Please tell me right now it's due to the weight.
Yeah, it's due to the weight. They put way too much.
Grant's
and as
on
soon
it
as
today.
And again, my favorite part is like I'm trying to put myself in this person's shoes. You know, there's someone who's the suicide bomber. There's a guy who's been thinking about this day
He's been hyping himself up.
for weeks, months. You know,
Yeah.
He's like looking at his watch, like
Yeah.
5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
Dude, could you imagine the morning of? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I know I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna do it for a just cause. And it's like, oh no.
Guess who ain't making the bed this morning? This guy.
Yeah.
It's just
Just
like,
imagine it's like the same thing with Captain Jack Sparrow, like kind of sinking into the dock.
He just like walk straight onto the ship.
So I surrender.
He just walks straight to like the ladder to get up to the top of the ship. And he's like, I was gonna try and blow you guys up.
well, no, I mean, like,
awkward.
The explosives go off, but all you get is like a bubble.
so apparently it barely even leaves the dock.
Oh, he didn't even get hardly past the
it's-
dock.
Yeah, it gets stuck in the mud. Like it's like underwater, but it's basically just stuck in mud. And they literally they didn't just call it a day. They actually like got a crane and like
Well, it's full of bombs
Yeah.
and shit. You got to get that back.
so they did, and they lifted it out.
Bombs are expensive,
Yeah, dude. In this economy?
and this was like what 2000 and
Actually, yes. I should also say this happened in January 2000.
yeah.
Yeah.
The economy was not great.
No, it's not great now. Wasn't great then.
So Now, this is where it.
Hands on his hip, just watching this fucking thing sink. Like, God damn it! It's probably that last bomb we put on there. You know, when I was saying it was like, I don't know if we need it, but I kind of wanted to put it on there. I think it was that last bomb. It's that last stick of C4 that really did it.
I think someone like this is a lot of like, hey man, he's gonna die anyway. Like,
Yeah.
we might as well just put as much as we
Yeah,
can.
what do you want to do? Blow his legs off and leave him out there fucking dog paddling? No, we're gonna fucking blow this motherfucker up.
I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
That's what I was going for.
Come on.
No, that's great.
I was trying to stick to
Okay, so little less funny here. 10 months later, October 12th, 2000, they redo the whole operation with a bigger boat and
That's what we needed, a bigger boat.
and successfully attacked the USS Cole. And it did take the lives of 30 crewmates on the ship. Now, back to the funnier part, there was a huge investigation on how this was pulled off. Apparently, the U.S. had no prior knowledge to the failed attempt that in January, and they found out that there was an attempt with a lot of explosives. There was a huge crane because cranes are especially having to pick up a boat and
big.
most likely thousands of pounds of explosives. It had to be a very powerful crane. And they were like, you didn't tell us that there was a failed attempt at blowing up a warship? And then Yemen basically was just like, no, we didn't think it was a big deal.
Awesome.
It didn't blow up.
This kind of shit happens all the time.
I have to assume it does, in all seriousness.
And
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Yemen's currently getting the shit bombed out of it now, so I assume they were probably getting bombed pretty good back in the day too.
So yeah, that's story number one.
All right. Okay. All right. Bazungu. Let's do it. I'm not married to this catchphrase. I gotta be honest.
I
You
think
went
that-
with it just for the episode. Just
Yeah.
see how, feel it
Yeah,
out.
okay.
Oh, the
All
bit?
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The second failed attempt was the bomb plot against the Thomas Jefferson Cultural Center.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So I don't want to start off by going too much into the multi-layered politics of the war in the Middle East. So that's
It's a job for smarter people than us.
We collectively, yeah, absolutely. All
Yeah.
four of our minds won't even get close. I'm sure of that.
we could, and I thought about this as like just a fun exercise to just really, push ourselves. What if we did instead, like we just scrap Murder Schmurder and we just do, instead of a comedy true crime podcast, we do a comedy Middle East politics podcast.
Nope.
So some people had oil and other people wanted that oil. There you go.
But make a bit about it,
Bazungu, you're up.
These people are dead and shit.
So just
I drink your milkshake.
So yeah, that's actually good.
That's good. That's good. See? Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can make this podcast.
Now we're
work.
bringing in the pop culture
Right.
into the history. Dude, we're going to be getting cited for papers and shit. That's how good we're going to be.
Okay, so just to
Again, nope.
in 1990 to 1991, we had the first Gulf War. And to just kind of just sum it up as succinctly as possible, not good. It pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah,
It was bad for a lot of
Good
people.
job. No, he did great.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah, let's leave it there.
Things bad.
Because if we linger, someone's going to say something before too long.
Okay, so in 1991, a lot of small sects of terrorists across the globe started attacking U.S. sites on their based homelands. Cue the Thomas Jefferson Cultural Center in the Philippines. So by this time,
in the Philippines.
in the Philippines,
Okay.
yeah. So the United States government, they figure out that this plan was hatched by the Iraqi intelligence, specifically in response to the bombings from the Gulf War.
Sure.
Okay, so two guys. First guy, Ahmed J. Ahmed, which is, I love that name.
Yeah.
Just it's
Easy
like
to
Joe
remember.
J. Joe. Just keep it simple. And second guy, Saad Kahim. They fly in to the Philippines and start casing out the center a week prior to the bombing. apparently they sucked so much at their job, they were immediately stopped by a suspicious security guard.
So what would you say is probably the biggest load-bearing wall in here?
Hold on.
They're just outside the front door. This is where we put C4. And maybe we go around back.
So, I'm just thinking like you and like just the four of us are just trying to be discreet in this library.
Yeah, that's actually
So much
hilarious.
so that this library security guard is just like, yeah, I gotta do something.
Yeah, these guys got to go.
God, could you imagine the four of us trying to like effectively plan out and execute a terrorist attack, regardless of what it is? I don't care what it is. Let's keep it the library. I mean, for real. Like,
The four of us are at a table surrounded around one book called How to Blow Up a Building. Blowing a building for dummies.
one of us runs in and it's like, okay, I Googled how to make a pipe bomb.
So
Guys, I lost my copy of the Anarchist Cookbook. I'm so sorry.
just go to the library. Like, do you have the schematics of this whole building? No, like the blueprints. No.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering,
By the way, what time do you get off?
You seem nice.
when is everyone out of the building and no
Yeah.
one is here?
You seem nice. When do you clock out?
But
Is the children's corner just for children?
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck? I want to go sit down in a foam castle. Jesus.
So
He just needed to blow off some steam, okay? He's nervous.
I'm
about
having
the
a
terrorist
tantrum.
attack.
I'm upset.
I'm gonna play with the wooden train set.
so the library security guard stops them and then is handed over to a DSS agent. Specifically DSS agent Brendan O'Hanlon, who has instructed security to let them pass after photocopying their Jordanian passports and Palestinian identity cards. Ooh, so I looked up exactly what you said. The DSS. It is the Diplomatic Security Service. They are the principal security and law enforcement agency of the United States Department of State as the operational division of DOS's Bureau of Diplomatic Security. Its primary mission is to protect diplomatic assets, personnel, and information and combat visa and passport fraud. DSS also conducts counterterrorism, counterintelligence, cybersecurity, and criminal investigations domestically and abroad. And this is cool. I might do an episode deep dive on this. So I just wanted to point this out. The origins of the DSS go back to the early stages of the First World War, when the United States, which thought to main, like, as you can imagine, the United States, if you don't know this in history, the U.S. tried to stay as neutral as possible in both world wars.
For a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because of that, found itself the target of espionage, sabotage, passport fraud, blah, 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 from German and Austrian spies. And then they found out they were doing it all in like New York City and basically in DC and stuff like that. And so they basically came up with the DSS to try and combat all of that. Yeah. So I was like,
So it's basically another branch of the CIA.
yeah.
More or less, but I mean, if you think about it, like we have quote unquote American soil on so many different like countries. As far
Yeah,
as
it's weird
entities
how
are
we
concerned,
put so many bases and
everything like that.
military installations
And not
all
even,
around and on top of other people's land.
Not even to mention the military bases, but I'm talking specifically
Just
like
straight
diplomatic
up diplomatic properties, I
centers.
guess you could say. Yeah.
We
Black
used to
sites
not
galore, dude.
care about global politics or try to be world police.
Yeah, because we had Woodrow Wilson during WW1, who was just a big racist piece of shit who didn't really care about anybody.
But he had a big penis, so you know,
Did he?
That's apparently cool.
Big old hole.
I mean, with a name like Woodrow.
Woodrow? Yeah, you know Woodrow's packing.
Anyway, back to the true crime.
Only thing
True
that
crime.
don't discriminate about me is my dick.
Don't do that again.
That was Austin who said that.
Don't do that. Oh, that's another fun thing. If apparently we all sound alike,
If we all sound alike, I
blame
can
each
just
other for our
Yeah.
bad jokes.
If anyone has a bad joke or something, you can just be like, "Oh, Grant, shut up. It's not funny." We've become more powerful.
That's just turning lemons into lemonade, my friend.
I like
Yeah,
this.
dude.
Okay, so True Crime. We're a True Crime comedy podcast. We're back on it. Ahmed and Saad go to the museum in the middle of the night, January 19th, 1991. Ahmed came in with a large bag carrying a relatively unstable plastic explosive. It's essentially C4 light. So it doesn't really catch fire.
Doesn't have all the calories of C4.
Fun fact, I don't know if you know
Only
this,
64
but
calories.
you can actually eat C4. That's how stable it is.
That's true.
You can eat C4?
You can eat
It's
C4.
basically clay. If
Okay.
it's not electrically
Yeah,
charged.
apparently, like, I think it was in World War II. There was some war where, like, not even more recent, I guess, because I don't think they had it in World War II. I want to say
They had C3.
I hate you. But apparently, like,
That was Joseph.
apparently recruits when they didn't want to do any work one day or another, they would eat C4 because it makes you sick for a couple hours.
That's kind of genius.
Yeah, and you just poop it out and just, I guess, go through your shit later, find it, put it back.
Throw it back on the block. This plastic explosive smells like shit.
Don't worry about it. It still blows up, right?
Guys, I blew up the toilet.
That's good. That was good. We're back in it, baby. That was really funny, Jamie. Good job. So they came in with this bag of C4 light, and what's it called? Ahmed is setting up the bomb, but they didn't take into account how pitch black it would be inside the library, and they apparently
They didn't take into account that it gets dark at night.
So
Are you fucking kidding?
not at all. So Ahmed is setting up this bomb
In the dark.
in the dark, and they didn't bring a flashlight.
Oh my god.
So he's using his lighter.
Oh my god.
And apparently, instead of setting the timer so it's like going back, it's like I need to set it back 10 minutes until it will explode.
Right.
He sets it
Like you would.
like you should. He sets it forward and it detonates in front of him, blowing him to bits with his best bud, Saad, behind him, who just watches his best for like just blow up.
Oh, wait, so he's just out of the blast zone?
So apparently, like,
So he gets covered in juicy shrapnel.
no, so he survives.
He's alive. He's
Saad,
made it through.
Saad survives. Ahmed, because apparently, like, he's right behind him. Ahmed's body takes the brunt of the blast, and
Right.
so he just sees his best bud blow up in front of him.
He's standing by a wall and walks away. You can see his outline.
Ahmed, are you okay?
So he's now just trying to find his way out of the library, just covered in oatmeal and strawberry jam.
Yeah. So apparently, he just starts wandering the streets. I mean, because I think
He's
I
probably
just,
in shock.
yeah, he's in complete shock. So he just starts wandering the streets near the library.
Picking fingernails out of his mouth.
And
Jesus Christ. Woo! Oh, I got some. Oh, my friend.
Like a popcorn kernel. You can never really get it out. You know?
Yeah.
so apparently,
His ear's just on his shoulder.
oh, gross.
Yeah, just brush it.
So a cab driver apparently notices Saad just walking the streets covered in blood.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a cab driver. I've seen everything. I need to get involved.
And yeah, apparently he gets involved and drives him to the closest medical center. And everyone at the medical center,
Hey, good on the cab driver.
you know, he's helping.
He's doing what he thinks is the right thing to do.
So he goes to the hospital, and the hospital, they think that he's like a bystander of the scene. He's a victim of everything.
Okay.
That
Oh, that's
happens.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
They don't know what's going on.
I would run with that story.
Yeah.
Were you trying to blow up the library? No.
No, see, I was returning my copy of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and there's this dude in there, and I just thought I'd be like, "Hey, dude, did you want to read this too?" Poof, and here I am.
Okay, so here's the timeline. Apparently, the DSS starts sending agents over to the explosion at the Thomas Jefferson Library, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
And they're like looking through everything, and they don't know what's going on yet. They're still trying to piece everything together. It's so early in the scene. And then they get a call from the hospital saying that there is a bystander who was there and that they should send an agent over, blah, 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 blah.
Talk to him or
Yeah.
talk to him.
Well, they think he's a
bystander.
victim,
Yeah.
a bystander. So they're like, okay, we'll send over Agent Evanoff. And Evanoff goes to the hospital to follow up on reports. So apparently he goes over there and he's trying to talk to Saad, like, what happened? And Saad apparently could have basically hustled the situation, but he didn't. He was in such shock. He apparently just hands over Agent Evanoff just a single slip of paper that gives the phone number to the Iraqi embassy.
Okay.
All right.
And apparently, like, they start like doing the research, like, oh, you're one of the bad guys. So they apparently like quickly imprison him and then deport what's it called? The consulates over there in the Philippines.
They send back the bag of soup that is Ahmed. Here, bury this or something.
Why are you handing me this bag of SpaghettiOs?
Okay, we're gonna get a little
Hey,
bit
we
serious.
scraped up your husband.
We're gonna get a little bit serious, but we're gonna bring it back. Okay, so
Okay.
Iraqi Consul General Muwafaq Al-Ani was expelled from the Philippines after his card was found in Saad's pocket.
I could use some more
His
fuck.
card?
Yeah, apparently, like his like business card was
I
found.
knew you were going to go there. I just knew
What'd
it.
you
I
say?
heard the
It's
name,
good.
and I knew he was going to go there.
Yes, I said I could use some more fuck.
Al-Ani would later become Iraq's
Terrible joke, Joseph.
It was, I'll do better.
Al-Ani would later become Iraq's ambassador to the People's Republic of China, and he would later gain notoriety again in 2003 after he barricaded himself in the Iraqi embassy in Beijing for 55 days after the invasion of Iraq.
No girls allowed.
55 days.
Just shitting in a corner, like,
More dumplings. No women.
okay, now here's where I see most true crime.
He was also in Beijing. Did they think the U.S. was going to fucking invade Beijing to get
I
his
don't know.
ass?
I tried to look up more of the story, but like we're on a time crunch.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's something that I want the listeners and you guys. I've also done research, so you probably have already seen this, but I do want to vocalize it more. Now, here's what I see most true crime journalism do in the first place. So, hear me out on this. I'm going to read an excerpt, and it's a little bit long, but I'm going somewhere with this. It's an excerpt basically describing what happened in those events and what led to it and how it became. But there is evidence that Iraq may be outsourcing. Intelligence officials are concerned that Iraq is seeking out Islamic militant groups that have little ideologically in common with Iraq's secular Ba'ath regime, but find common cause against the United States. During the Gulf War, Iraqi agents in Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines attempted to bomb U.S. embassy properties with the assistance of Iraq's embassies after Saddam Hussein threatened to bring the war to Americans wherever they lived, say Southeast Asian law enforcement officials. In Indonesia, an Iraqi posing as a member of a crew renovating the U.S. ambassador John Monjo's home planted a bomb in a flower pot outside his sitting room. It was found and defused before it went off, according to a diplomat posted to the United States Embassy at the time. A member of Iraq's embassy was then quietly asked by Jakarta to leave the country. In another instance, in Thailand, 2 Iraqi diplomats were deported after they were accused of smuggling explosives into the country. But it was in the Philippines that Iraq allegedly came closest to success, and it is in the Philippines today where the most concrete allegations of Iraqi links to terrorism are emerging. It goes more and more and gives more detail. But what I have to say is that all sounded very legitimate. Did it not? It sounded like it was written by United States or some press.
Just makes me proud that we killed all them millions of Iraqis.
But what I constantly see in true crime media constantly is
Austin, what the fuck?
That is something I would say.
is they post material as facts and not post their sources or even question their sources. Do you know what that last source was from?
Ooh, I feel like you're going to tell us.
from a website titled the Christian Science Monitor.
Yeah. Check your sources, people, for the love of God.
And again, this goes back to like, what I was talking about. When we are doing all our research, I would like to thank everyone here is doing their due diligence and double checking and seeing what other people have to say and this, that, and
No. For
No,
me,
yeah, straight Wikipedia
Not
for me.
even one time.
Yeah, that Arthur Shawcross episode, I blew right out of my ass.
so I start with Facebook, then I go to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I had a bowl full of C4 and I just shat it.
So I follow a lot of Tumblr blogs that usually are pretty good okays on information, I think. I haven't checked.
Is that where you learned that word on Tumblr? This is okays.
Okays. Yeah.
That's your catchphrase.
Okays.
hence why I want all of our listeners to take every true crime they hear with a grain of salt.
Especially ours.
Well, I was going to say, because when I do a good amount of research on something where the path is already paved before me, as in, listening to a docuseries, a previous podcast, a YouTube video, it doesn't always cover all of the truth. It generally tends to be centered around the sensationalized bullshit. So please remember that when you see it come from us, at least you can trust us, because I'll straight up delete an episode if we're on some bullshit, which I have done and probably have to do again.
Which episode did you delete?
Sure.
Don't worry. Now buy our Patreon.
was the
Support us by liking,
It was the
following.
Shawcross episode.
Support us by liking, following, and sharing our podcast.
Was it really?
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where we'll be posting clips from our live show. And thanks to everyone that
He's
came
not
out.
saying.
He's not saying.
We
yeah.
literally outsold the venue. Thank you to all of our supporters.
If you deleted my cryptids episode,
To Jamie's point, though, we are doing our due diligence over here. Like if we get way off topic or it becomes clear that facts are not there.
And to
Then
you,
let's
my
not
dear
worry about
listener, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
I can make you a promise that we are almost 100% sure that what we're telling you is pretty much the truth and all of the truth and some more of the truth.
Facts.
So help Joseph Satan.
Word.
Yeah.
Bazinga,
And
baby
hey,
girl.
y'all, there's a very convenient way for y'all to let us know about our shortcomings.
Yeah.
Email us at emailtrashville
Yeah, if we
at
do a bad
gmail.com.
job, tell us
Yeah.
about
If we fuck up, tell us because we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
it. Just delete it.
Yeah, we might just delete the episode.
Or just email back like, fuck you.
What do you know? Where's your degree? Fuck you.
You saying I didn't go to college, huh? Well, fuck you then. You think you're better than me?
I would give a little caveat. I wouldn't necessarily cite us for an academic paper, but yeah, I mean, you can do worse.
As the great Murder Schmurder podcast has said.
I do try.
I try.
Yeah,
I try.
I really do.
I try.
I watched a whole documentary one time.
Dude, I was on like 2 different websites for that Arthur Shawcross episode.
Count them. 2. I followed the link on Wikipedia to the article
Holy shit.
and I scanned it.
Okay.
I control F'd that bitch.
Okay, so what's it called? We're on to our next one. Our next failed attempt. Deerin Barrow or Barrett, I don't know.
What? Deerin Barrow?
Spell it.
Diren is his
Okay.
first name. Deerin. I guess it's not
Darren.
Barrow because he's Indian and he's not French. It's Barrot.
Barrow.
What was it?
Barrot.
B-A-R.
But he's not French. He's Indian.
Barat?
Barat. That sounds better. Deerin Barat. Okay. Deerin was born in India, December 1st, 1971, and his family emigrated to the UK when he was 1. He lived there well into adulthood and at some point converted to Islam and got into extremist literature and even traveled to Pakistan to enter Al-Qaeda training.
Can I do a spoiler alert real quick?
Oh, that's
Are
extreme.
we going to talk about any white terrorists, maybe?
No.
Ah.
No.
Ooh,
next time.
episode. Follow up episode.
Dude, I'm probably going to do a follow-up episode because there's one I was just like, the United States really dropped the ball. It's like, it's comically...
Oh, yes. As far as us fucking thing, or it's people within our country fucking up terrorist attack attempts, because I'm sure it's.
I don't
we're
want to
just
ruin it, but
lousy with it.
it's more along the lines of like the United States essentially tries to, what's it called when you
Uneducate their children and then they have really bad ideas.
No,
that are usually racist.
what's it
Like,
called
they're at least
when
xenophobic.
it's illegal to do? It's basically like when they try to capture you committing a crime.
Entrapment.
Entrapment, yes.
Yeah.
But they're giving you all the tools and trying to goad you into doing.
I
the
will
crime.
say also, it is harder to talk about failed U.S. terrorism, probably because the United States government is such a great sponsor of terrorism, and all of our like governments that we've flipped into like fascist states, especially in Central and South America, and like all the terrorists that we've funded usually do pretty good because we got a lot of fucking money and we're really good at it.
Speaking of Henry Kissinger, yeah, that's actually very on brand. That's
And also,
that's kind of what he
circle
did.
back.
Yeah.
there's your catchphrase, baby.
That whole sentence I just
Yeah,
said.
that's your catchphrase.
Just play it again.
Yeah, just
Paste
rewind
that for
it.
me.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bharat traveled to Pakistan in 1995. He took part in militant campaigns against Indian forces in Kashmir using the pseudonym Essa
The sweater?
Huh?
No, sir.
Shut up.
Austin is wearing a great sweater right
Grant,
now.
shut up.
Essa al-Hadi. He wrote a book called The Army of Madinah in Kashmir in 1999, which, now that you say that, it sounds like a fun book. The Army of Madinah in Kashmir. It's like, ooh.
Ooh.
Sounds like a fantasy novel where you're
Yeah.
like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Okay, let's get
I don't
into
know. It
it.
kind of sounds smutty to me.
A smutty
It
fantasy
kind of
novel.
gives
Yeah.
like The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
It's giving me that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Just like, I'll eat it. Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking of Slutty Elves. But if you want to talk about Devil Wears Prada, that's cool too. I mean,
I was thinking of like Slutty Anne Hathaway.
okay. All right.
I want to jingle your bells.
Yeah. Yeah. Discussing his experiences.
More like the Devil Wears Nada.
Okay, so years later, apparently after thorough investigation done by MI5, the CIA, and multiple anti-terrorism outfits, they had pieced together some of the major figureheads of the 9/11 plot. Joseph, specifically, I don't want to open the can of worms of 9/11 right now.
I don't know why you felt the need to call me out. I'm just sitting over here, not ready to start talking about 9/11 at all. They let it happen.
So apparently,
It wasn't inside.
It's a lot more complicated than that. But go
It's
ahead.
complicated, but not much more complicated.
okay, we're going to do the same thing we did to
For
the Gulf War.
9/11 was bad. A lot of
good.
bad things
Not good.
happened
Made a lot of people
around and
upset.
in it. Yes.
Yeah.
We killed a lot of people for... Go ahead.
Yes. Not-
Bazungu.
but
Mr. President, they just hit the Twin Towers. Hold on, I'm finishing this story.
it's getting good.
Right. You're telling me that engine could?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, dude. What you don't understand is that George W. was reading a book about a little goat to a bunch of children. What's a symbol of goats? Satanism. What's the Pentagon look like? A pentagram. So that what you're talking about is a big satanic plot to blow up America.
What does
You know-
the Pentagon look like? A Pentagon.
Actually, so much more sad than that is that they shipped Bush off very quickly, and then Cheney took over.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
When's that motherfucker dying?
Dude, he's going to live for 1,000 years.
Dude, he's probably got another. They probably just fucking kidnap homeless people and
They
take
gave him a
hearts
new
out
heart.
of them. Yeah, that's probably where he got it from.
Anyway,
it's actually a veteran. Go ahead.
Bharat actually got to meet some of these figureheads and was eventually
true.
dispatched to do recon work in the United States and in the UK.
Okay.
So he flies to the US under a student visa and apparently just doesn't even go into any college. Like, not the best spy that you've ever heard of. Like, he doesn't try to assimilate. He doesn't, like, go to
Hello,
college.
fellow kids.
No, he doesn't go to the college. Like, he gets a student visa and doesn't
And
go
then
to...
just never shows
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Ballsy.
But he gets to work and he dreams big. Not only were his targets the International Monetary Fund and World Bank buildings in Washington, D.C., they also included the New York Stock Exchange and Citigroup buildings in New York City and even the Prudential headquarters in Newark, New Jersey. But
Lofty.
yeah,
I'm not necessarily against.
but even to even go even further, like he even plans the Tube and the Heathrow Express, which are the underwater freeways in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like picking the huge numbers.
You know, if you aim for the moon and you miss, you still got the stars.
So
Thank you, my third grade teacher.
You're welcome. A little
like read
inspiration
that off
for
a
you.
poster once. And it's like, that's good.
And it locked into my brain forever.
There was some guy with a milk mustache on that poster too.
Yeah, totally. It was like Michael Jordan back in the day, like when he still played for the Hornets, and it's just like, oh shit, yeah, dude.
Dude, if at some point in the near future, give me 15 minutes on my third grade teacher, it's amazing. Continue.
Through recovered intelligence, through all the Al Qaeda raids in Pakistan and Afghanistan alike, and also the supposed leaks from imprisoned Al Qaeda members that they never say are in Guantanamo Bay, but like, you know,
Right, Guantanamo Cove.
they pinpoint that Barat and 7 other members have plans to basically execute all of this. And then it leads to 14 men across the UK were arrested with some level of knowledge or work done for Al Qaeda. Now, thus far, this sounds like Barat may be a mastermind with a dangerous background to boot, but I want you to hear out on how he planned to execute these attacks. He basically had 3 main ways. Here was his first idea. They call it the Gas Limos Project. So he basically found out that many of these buildings had on-site parking lots underneath the building. So like underground parking lots built into the structure. And he realized that he wanted to blow them up from the bottom, trying to break the structure down.
Okay, you need a lot of explosives for that.
Yes.
You need a lot of tonnage to shake a whole ass building. I mean, okay, I'm
So he at first is just like, okay, I'll just get a truck, and then he finds out.
full of explosives.
And I'm not
Can
talking
I
like
park this truck full of napalm here?
not an F-150. He's thinking like getting like a moving truck.
Yeah, sure.
But
Okay.
then he finds out all of these garages have height limits. So, so his next
Shit! He gets there and he's just like, "Fuck!
so
I gotta back up. I'm backing up."
the next step in his plan is now revised. So now he's gonna fill up limos.
Limos. Okay.
You can't go high.
Right.
You go
You gotta
long.
go wide. Right.
Can't go high,
long.
go long.
So
Not a
he's
terrible idea.
so
I mean, it's kind of not, I guess.
so he's planning to attack the structure from the inside out, right?
Okay.
And he's going to use I don't know exactly why he did this or why he thought this would work, but he specifically said 3 stretch limousines. Now, even though he did all the training in Pakistan and whatnot, they apparently didn't train him on how to make and acquire explosives. So
Seems like an important.
you would think so.
Step.
So his plans literally include filling these limousines with propane tanks and nails.
And t-shirt
God,
guns.
this is the Hank Hill of terrorists.
Yeah, you know, some propane salesman was like, "You want how many? Hell yeah!"
It's a clean burning fuel. All right? That's a clean burning fuel, okay? You taste the heat, not the meat. All right?
How many propane tanks can fit in a limousine? What kind of question is that?
Yeah, right. Ask Jeeves said, "I don't know."
So, what again? Like all of these projects that he had come up with. So he gets taken to court, of course, and so there's a defense attorney, and the defense attorney does their best to try and stand up for him by pointing out how fruitless all of his plans would have been. So the forensics team of his defense team point out that his plan.
Your Honor, this is too stupid to have worked.
They basically
Yeah, this would have never worked, Your Honor.
they point out that
Did my client try to commit terrorism? Yes. Did he do a good job? No. Did he know what he was doing? No.
not at all.
I rest my case.
I got a BMW full of gasoline and Cheerios in this parking lot right now, and I couldn't blow up a building. I'll tell you that right now.
So they basically run like the mathematical numbers of like the amount of damage pressure per square inch it would take to
Bag of
basically
nails divided by concrete plus propane. I got you.
yeah, and basically they were like it would have never worked. Like the amount of propane it would have taken, like it would just
Would not fit in a limo.
it like
Wait, but What about 3 limos?
What about a stretch limo?
To my understanding, like it pretty much.
Yeah, I'm towing these 2 limos with this
3
limo.
limos?
I don't think they want to point out like how much propane it would take to blow up a building. That I
Oh, they don't
think-
want to put that in the record,
How have they not made a King of the Hill episode about this?
right?
But apparently they're like, it's nearly damn impossible to bring down one of these major structures that's made to last
Yeah.
for like hundreds of years
Sure.
and bring them down with propane tanks and fire.
That architect got a raise that day. I told you.
I told you.
Behind closed doors, he's like, now if it was 5 stretch limos, oh, I don't know.
Dude, we were 1 limo away from catastrophe. It could have been real bad.
So this was a second idea. Barat's proposals for a dirty bomb. He wanted to make a dirty bomb, and the whole idea was inspired by a road accident in France involving a truck carrying 900 smoke detectors, which caused.
900 smoke detectors.
I mean, you got to transport smoke.
I mean, yeah,
detectors,
okay, all right.
Which caused a concern over possible exposure to the radioactive material contained in them.
Oh, okay.
Barat formulated a plan involving 10,000 smoke detectors either set on fire or placed on top of an explosive device, and worked on a budget that would have required 50,000 pounds,
Oh, smoke detectors.
£5 for each smoke detector, and 20,000 pounds for storage.
This is some Looney Tunes ass shit. All I need is 10,000 smoke detectors.
That coyote was onto something.
Seriously.
So apparently, again, this goes back to the forensics team. Like his defense attorneys were like having to do the math, proving how bad of an idea this is.
Dude,
And
This
so,
is why I can never be a defense attorney.
So
if I was a
calculations.
defense attorney, I would have put a helmet on that dude before we got into court and been like, Your Honor, my client, he could never have done this. He's too
And
stupid.
then put him in a Wile E. Coyote t-shirt. Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna
Hold this giant lollipop. Just hold it. Just lick it when you can.
Do this a lot. Your Honor, I mean, look at him. He can't.
you're gonna Matt Rife him. I love it.
Okay,
That
so
one was for relevancy.
calculations suggest that this would have the volume of 4 telephone boxes and contain only trace amounts of radioactivity. According to expert evidence supplied by the prosecution during his trial, it would have contaminated as many as 500 people, but was unlikely to cause even one death.
So you're saying he could have popped a bag of popcorn?
There's barely enough power in this limo to microwave a steak. Like, come on.
So this is number 3. This is how he wanted. He was planning to use a mixture of basically those 2 past ideas, but use it on the UK freeway, the tube.
So a lot of smoke detectors, a lot of propane, and some nails
Yeah. So
on the
it's-
tube.
So again, he planned to effectively blow up as you can imagine, blow up a hole in the underwater freeway, flooding it, killing lots of
It
people.
caused a huge
blah, blah,
problem,
blah.
sure.
But again, forensics did all the research on his proposed plans, and it became abundantly clear he had no real knowledge on how to make bombs, calculate the necessary pressure per square inch to cause massive damage, or really any scientific or mathematical knowledge, as they were able to prove that the freeway was actually reinforced with several layers in case of any accidents or any explosive
Duh.
accidents.
Or that exact. Yeah. of
They're
course.
trying to prevent this exact same situation, and they were able to prove without a doubt that all of his plans would have never worked.
I'm still thinking of the architect or like the company, the CEO of that company was just like, oh no.
like it's Willy Wonka. It's like, no, don't eat that.
Don't blow up my bridge.
It's like the best, worst thing that could have ever happened to his company.
So he was.
He starts marketing it.
We can handle 3 stretch limos of propane.
So apparently he was arrested on August 3rd, 2004, while leaving a haircut in London.
At least he got the haircut done.
I don't know why that like
he
is
went to the
mentioned.
barber shop?
He went to a barbershop and they had enough of his shit and they were like, you know what, let's just arrest this guy
Wasn't
now.
he planning on dying?
No, he was
wanted to
trying to be
set
the
it?
mastermind.
He wanted to set it and forget it.
No, he wanted
okay.
to like pull all the strings and someone else does that. Yeah.
The evil genius.
So he was charged because he was arrested in the UK. He was charged by the UK for
That's fair.
conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to commit a public nuisance, which I think is a hilarious way.
It's a little low on the totem
Yeah.
pole, it sounds
conspiracy
like.
to commit
I
a
find this to be a nuisance.
conspiracy to commit a public nuisance by the use of radioactive materials, toxic gases, chemicals, and/or explosives. Again, nuisance is just a.
It's such a
Right.
low tier
Yeah, nuisance
word.
is throwing a bag of shit against a window. Okay,
To be fair, that's very British.
It's
Yeah,
very
that is
British.
very
Yeah.
British.
That's true.
But also, I think they know in that moment. They're like, don't annoy us for a couple of months.
But also, this
Your
guy,
mother is a Piccadilly whore, and you're being quite the nuisance.
this guy does sound like a nuisance, though. Like, it sounds like someone you would wave away and be
He's
like,
just annoying.
shut the fuck up.
He's
Yeah.
just annoying. Yeah.
Like, he would be like, and I'll stab everyone and I'll fucking kill the whole world. And you're like, shut the fuck up, dude. Just fucking go away.
I live right next to this guy. He plays his music way too loud.
Yeah. Total nuisance.
So he's also charged for possessing detailed reconnaissance on the Prudential Building in New Jersey, and then possessing detailed reconnaissance of the International Monetary Fund headquarters in Washington, the New York Stock Exchange, and Citigroup in New York, and 2 notebooks of information on explosives, which I find so hard to believe that, like, it's quote unquote explosives when he's coming up with the most rudimentary ideas of how to make a bomb.
Yeah.
This gives off the same energy as the scene in You Don't Mess with Zohan when they throw the Neosporin bomb up against the salon window.
You don't mess with the Zohan reference. Wow.
You're
Holy
welcome.
shit.
One of the worst
Yeah.
Adam Sandler movies.
Right.
And you're like,
Thank
a
you.
movie I saw in theaters where no one laughed.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Grant.
You're welcome.
You know, Grant can't stop talking about the Zohan.
You don't mess with him.
now, before you label this man, there was
I love the Zohan.
Would
There
never
was-
dream of messing with him.
There was a report that went through more of the trial and the history and life of Barat. And with 2020 hindsight, I think it's important to bring it up. You can literally find this on the Department of Justice Offices of Justice Programs website. It's a report titled, Diran Barat, was he an Al-Qaeda mastermind or merely a hapless plotter?
I'm going to go
Yes.
with the latter.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like the second one.
But here's a summation of the article. Supporters of his conviction, as you can imagine, the United States was not happy that this guy was even trying to plot anything. So they pushed for a very heavy conviction and throw the book at this guy. On
Sounds like the
government.
US.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but this is what they said, what happened in the moment. Supporters of his conviction claim that at the time of his arrest, Barat was a high-level al-Qaeda figure whose plans for terrorist attacks in the United States and the United Kingdom were on the verge of being executed. This view was held by much of the British press. On the other hand, Barat's defense attorney and some analysts who examined the evidence against Barat have argued that Barat had done little more than sketch vague plans that had no funding from or link to any al-Qaeda. They believe that Barat was being used by the British government as an example of its commitment and effectiveness in taking preventative action in the war on terror. The war on terror, what a crazy time. After examining Barat's life and assessing the threat he posed, this article argues that he was a committed terrorist and was likely an official member of al-Qaeda who posed a threat to British and U.S. security. However, the lack of public information on certain periods of Barat's life and his arrest at the stage of initial planning for possible terrorist attacks suggests that claims about his high status within al-Qaeda and the imminence of his execution of attacks should be viewed with skepticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, within that regard, if you want to talk about like the potential definition of terrorism, that is invoking terror, fear, in a large group of people or a full-blown organization, especially a nation, right? Like an actual government entity.
Sure.
This fucking idiot didn't even come close to doing any of those things. Sure, he tried, and that could be a threat, but I don't know. You got to think about the effect, the
actual effectiveness.
yeah.
I feel like this was a dude who maybe was like hung out with some people who were actually like maybe heavy hitters or in the organization. It's kind of like people who like want to be like, I know a guy in the mob, you know, and they want to act like they're mobbed up. And this guy was probably like, yeah, I got some big plans. I'm gonna blow up the Statue of Liberty. I'm gonna shit on Mount Rushmore and blow it up. And they were just like, God damn, this guy's fucking annoying. You know what? Buy him a ticket to the U.S. and just tell him to do something, and we'll just get him out of our fucking hair.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it sounds like. But
like they sent him on a wild goose chase, and they were like, "There's absolutely no way this guy will actually be effective."
Look, if you want to be an actual terrorist, like a legitimate,
If you want.
Keep listening, because we'll tell you. We'll tell you how to do stuff.
do your due diligence. Like actually try and figure out the infrastructure,
Right?
the building code,
If you sneak into a place based on a student visa, maybe stop by a class every once in a while.
Well, that's also true. That's another very, very effective point of blend into society.
Imagine
for a
the
minute,
guy that
you know?
comes over, he gets too bogged down with schoolwork.
They come back years later, they like check in on him, and he's just a doctor.
Say, hey, AP Calculus just kicked my ass. I'm so sorry. Give me 3 months.
I got to
swear.
defend my thesis in 2 months. I'm fucking flipping out, man. Like, I can't blow anything up right now. I'm trying to fucking we got shit to do.
like he gets a girlfriend, and he's just like, "Listen, man, she's pregnant right now. I have class."
You know what's funny? This kind of sounds like an Adam Sandler movie.
A little bit.
Honestly, we could write this
movie
about a fucking like guy who's like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna blow up this country, and then he's just like, man, you know, day-to-day life just gets to you, and you know, next thing you know, you're not who you thought you were, you know.
You just got a busy day. I got to get an oil
Damn,
change.
that
I got
is an
class.
Adam
You know, you put it off, and then you keep thinking, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to the bombs. I'm gonna get to the terror, and then you know, you just get caught up.
And there goes the dishwasher.
Yeah. Now the only time,
Let's
the
take the rom-com approach to it. Too.
Yes.
He falls in love with the,
a white girl named Sally.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm thinking that the moment, like in one of those, like kind of like late second act moments where like the all hope is lost type thing is that he comes back to his terroristic roots when he's in a Trader Joe's parking lot and someone steals a spot from him. He's like, God fucking damn it! I will blow this entire place to shit. Sally's like, what are you doing, Ahmed? Are you okay? And he's just like, I'm just so fucking pissed off right now.
I just want my Trader Joe's groceries.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want those dark chocolate peanut butter cups because they're so fucking good.
And these parking lots are too fucking small. You know what? It's all going down.
If I didn't love Trader Joe's so much, oh God, they'd ruin the day. Okay, so we have one last one. The 2007 London car bombs. Now, this story is
Okay.
it's sad, but it's hilarious. Now, this story includes another two buddies, Bilal I'm probably butchering this.
Another couple of buddies.
Bilal Abdullah and Kafil Ahmed.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
That'd be fair. Wouldn't you be good friends with that guy? Like,
Yeah, I would hope so,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
Right.
you go into a new culture solely on the intent
Actually,
of taking it down.
no, this is
from
a
the
great buddy
inside,
cop movie.
You know,
Where it's like two
Two-
guys who hate each other.
But they have to blow up something. And then one guy takes off because he's like, I fucking hate this dude. And he meets a girl and
We got this.
Oh, dude, writes itself.
We
It
create
does.
a new genre, buddy terrorist movies.
Bilal always leaves his dishes in the sink. I hate him.
I'm always taking out the trash.
He's
That's
dating
good.
a new girl named Sally.
We
I
split
hate
the
her.
bill evenly, but I just had like an appetizer and he had like 3 drinks. What the fuck?
Okay, so Bilal and Kafil make plans to set off 2 car bombs on London and then drive a car full of explosives into the Glasgow airport. That's their game
Okay.
plan.
Okay.
So
That's their goal.
yeah, that to make this super succinct. So this event stretches from June 29th to June 20th, 2007.
June 29th to June 20th?
June 30th.
Oh, sorry. I'm
And
dumb.
here's the rapid
Shut
fire.
the fuck up, Austin. No,
Here's the rapid fire timeline of the events. Okay. June 29th.
I actually really love this bit.
I think it's really funny.
No, me too. I'm loving this. Go ahead.
At the time, an ambulance crew was attending to a minor incident at this nightclub called Tiger Tiger. When they noticed
Great name.
Tiger.
Great name.
when they noticed suspicious fumes coming from a vehicle.
Smoking weed.
So
Pass the touchy on the left hand side.
the London
Shut
ambulance
up, Grant.
service, the London ambulance service, the crew come in and basically like take care of this person, and they report seeing smoke in a car parked in the Haymarket area, and call police to investigate. Eyewitnesses claim to have seen the car being driven erratically, crashing into bins, park, and then the driver runs off into the distance.
Buffalo Soldier.
Actually, hang on. That's 1:25 a.m.
Yeah, if you want to be a terrorist, learn how to drive.
In their country, yes, absolutely.
2
I'm gonna get a
a.m.
bumper sticker.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry for the shitty driving. I'm a terrorist.
If I hit you, it's not my fault. I'm doing things. So the Metro Police investigate the vehicle and cordon off the area. 2:30. A second car is found illegally parked in Cockspur Street near the whole situation. And a second bomb was believed to have been left in the same area at the same time. A vehicle received in Cockspur Street at 2:30 a.m. and at about 3:30 was transported at the Park Lane car compound. However, staff left the vehicle in the public area after smelling petrol fumes and then alerted police upon hearing about the discovery of a bomb at Tiger Tiger.
Okay.
So essentially, like,
So they smelled gas.
well, they towed the car. They were like,
Yeah.
these guys
This guy's
did
parked
such a
like
bad
an asshole.
Yeah. So they illegally parked, got towed, and then the tow company was basically like, hey, there was a bomb? And they smelled like, this smells like a bomb.
They smelled gas.
It
Yeah.
smells like a bomb.
And then just put it back. And
Yes,
then
bomb.
and then told the cops, were like, yeah, you guys handle this.
Oh, it smells like a bomb over here.
Yeah, I would know. I've eaten C4 before.
So the police take it to their own car pound and manually disable a device in the first car at 3:30 a.m. At 4, a witness sees the police removing gas canisters from the car.
Yeah.
And
Called
so,
it, Grant.
I think this is suspicious.
Well, yeah. No, like it's a gasoline based explosive, right? So
Yeah.
you, like you said earlier, petrol.
Yeah.
That they smelled.
Petrol's what they call it over there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weirdos.
I know.
So they close off the whole area by 8 a.m. for sure. 10:25 a.m. The car is taken from Haymarket and sent to the Defense of Science and Technology Laboratory Research site in Kent. 10:30 a.m. A committee meets to discuss the issue and decides everything is fine now. They've done all the work they can and then reopen the area. At 2:30 p.m., Park Lane is closed off after a second suspect vehicle is discovered in an underground car park. 3:45, a police bomb investigation robot is seen near the entrance to the park. At 5, a police cordon off the area in the Fleet Street after a third suspicious vehicle is found. 6 p.m., Fleet Street reopens after nothing is found in the vehicle. 7 p.m., police confirm that a second device has been located. And by 8:45, police confirm both vehicles were packed with nails, gasoline, gas cylinders, and have been taken care of. The next morning, the two men make plans to ram their Jeep into the terminal of the Glasgow airport.
How many cars these motherfuckers got?
Uh,
3?
Right now, it's just 3. They thought
Okay.
there was going to be 4, but it's just 3. So they stockpile the Jeep with nails and propane tanks. Seemingly having never scoped out the area, they don't take into consideration how slow they have to drive, and of course, the security bollards.
And it's an airport.
Yeah, it's
You
an
can't
airport.
just drive through an airport.
So
Like, think about BNA. Like, think
Yeah.
about trying to drive into the airport.
so the,
What year was this?
I think this is
2008?
2007.
2007.
So yeah, they
So yeah,
lot
that's
of security.
that's very
Again,
newly post
they-
9/11.
6 years after 9/11, yeah.
so they have what are called security bollards. It's like, the giant cement.
The cement pillar thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 They don't take that into account.
How do you not?
So they drive the Jeep head on into the bollards at
The bollards doing what they're supposed to do.
again, they're in when you're driving into an airport, like none of it is high speed.
Yeah.
All of it is low speed. They hit it at 30 miles an hour.
so fast. Oh, that's so fast.
That's just fast enough to fuck yourself up and your Jeep and then do nothing else.
That's exactly what happened. So apparently, it doesn't say exactly what it is, but they said they had.
Hold on, I gotta slow down for these pedestrians.
Yeah, right?
They said they had gasoline bombs, but I think they just had essentially Molotov cocktails kind of thing.
Okay. So just containers of gasoline, basically. It's a bomb.
No, I mean they had their bottles. They said they had
Right.
gasoline bombs, but they also had propane tanks and stuff like that. But apparently, the bombs don't.
This is not how you blow up buildings, people.
There are conflicting accounts of exactly what happened, but they say there was a crash, there was an explosion, and there was fire.
Yeah.
One account says that Bilal was throwing gasoline bombs, which I assume were Molotov cocktails, from the passenger side, and that Kafil set himself on fire and ran into the airport. But I didn't find much evidence that Bilal actually had bombs, true explosives, ready, as there were several accounts and eyewitnesses that said Bilal ran out of the burning Jeep and just started fist fighting people while Kafil ran into the airport yelling while on fire.
Yes.
So,
good.
I imagine they're like, soon we're gonna blow up everything, and then
Yeah.
he's letting a Molotov cocktail. And it's a Jeep. I have a Jeep. It's all metal. They're all old metal. They're
Yeah.
yes, of course, there's what's it
Newer Jeeps, you know.
called? What's it
Interior.
called?
Composite material?
The airbags.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I imagine he has one in hand. It goes off and it just fucking explodes on his buddy.
Yeah.
And he's just on fire and yelling.
So this is Harold and Kumar
Wait,
become
is this guy-
terrorists.
Is Harold and Kumar blow up an airport? Oh my god!
So
Oh wait, is this guy
So
fist fighting
stupid.
people while on fire?
no, one guy
Okay.
jumps out on fire,
Runs into the airport.
runs into the airport.
Y'all have a Cinnabon? I'm on fire!
And then the other guy. So I think Bilal
The other guy's
fucked
just
up.
fucking putting his dukes up, just fucking 1, 2, 3.
Bilal basically
This is so dumb.
one is basically
Yeah,
on
seriously.
fire, and the other one just starts trying to fight people with the only weapons that God gave him, these fucking hands. And here are several of the eyewitness accounts of what happened in the attack. As the incident unfolded, a number of members of the public rushed to aid police as they responded and to confront the two attackers. Michael Kerr chose to run towards the attackers despite already being out of the airport and with his family and car. He exchanged punches with one of the attackers, losing several teeth in the melee and breaking his leg. Alex McLevine, a taxi driver, saw what was unfolding, and after approaching one of the men, and I'll get into this,
The taxi driver's like,
famously kicked
"Shit."
the terrorist so hard in the groin that he tore a tendon in his foot.
This guy tore a tendon in his foot, kicking this dude in the dick.
Okay, so
Nobody's talking about my foot.
okay, so that's listed on the Wikipedia.
Where's my damages?
I looked it up, so that's listed on the Wikipedia website, and that again, it's one of those things that's listed quote unquote as a fact, but it is listed. It's coming from an article from the episode, or not from the media publication, the Daily Record, which is a Scottish tabloid. So I imagine they were just like, you know how badass we are. And the Scots basically were just like, this guy tore
We
a tendon.
totally kicked this dude's ass.
So
William
hard.
Wallace, that motherfucker.
But, so badass, I had to bring it up and keep it in. Stephen Clarkson tackled Kafil Ahmed to the ground, allowing police the opportunity to detain and prevent any further acts of violence. Unlike some of the other Good Samaritan, Mr. Clarkson kept his identity hidden for 10 weeks following the attack, having been mourning the recent loss of his partner to cancer and even went back to work the next day.
Damn, take a day off, Clarkson. Jesus.
Retired firefighter Henry Lambie saw the incident unfolding and rushed to help. He initially tried to put out the fire in the Jeep before then using the extinguisher to try and put out the fire Bilal had set on himself. In doing so, he helped subdue the terrorist while also helping to protect two officers that were trying to arrest him. A modest man, he went home afterwards to shower before then going out for a meal as planned with his wife and friends. He was later quoted saying, "People have asked me to think if I'm a hero, but I don't think so. Heroes are people like soldiers who go to war knowing what they were getting into."
Oh, what a sweetie.
I mean, what else do you do, man? You got a pleasant evening planned. You imagine if we were all like going to get food together or something, and like Austin walked in, was just like, "Hey, man, what's up with you?" It's like, "I punched a terrorist today."
Why are you here? Do you need help? Stuart Ferguson and
You would not believe my day.
Fist fight at the airport. It was the whole thing. Guy was on fire.
How was your vacation? Huh, great. Yeah, until today.
Need a vacation from his vacation.
Stuart Ferguson, an off-duty policeman, saw that the flaming car, having approached it, began to douse the flaming Kafil Ahmed with a fire extinguisher. Ferguson said of the incident, quote, "I knew he was one of the bad guys, but it never entered my mind to walk away because that would have been failing in my duty. One of my primary duties of a police officer is to preserve life, and it doesn't matter whose life that is, but I don't see myself as a hero." Which is the most amazing
That's good.
thing.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean,
Come
Kudos.
on.
that's
Not
pretty
all
good.
cops are bastard.
I don't
You
know.
just gotta
He's
leave a
right.
country for it
Joseph.
sometimes.
He
Think
probably
about
did
it.
something bad earlier that day or later that day. I
He
don't
may
know.
have, but in that moment,
Maybe some British cops are okay. I don't even have guns.
Boom.
actually, British cops are great.
I'm gonna say if you're a cop and you don't carry a gun around, you're already a couple notches up.
Okay, so Michael McDonald was working at check-in when the fire alarm
The singer?
sounded. Having
I came from somewhere back in a chicken hand.
having helped to shepherd people to safety, he then saw one of the terrorists attacking a policeman and ran to help. He fought with Kafil Ahmed before helping to hold him down so that he could be detained by the police. He has since stated that the incident has left him with a fear of flying.
That left me with a fear of flying.
I digress.
So this guy's wild to me. John Smeaton, a bag handler, was off duty when he saw the incident start to develop. He heard 3 explosions as he smoked a cigarette during his break. He ran over to help the police. Smeaton confronted and with others kicked Kafil Ahmed, who later died from 90% burns following the attack.
Jesus.
During the incident, Smeaton also helped drag Michael Kerr to safety after Kerr had been left lying with a broken leg beside the burning Jeep after fighting with Ahmed. Smeaton was able to capitalize on an interview given to media after the event and subsequently appeared on a number of television shows in both the UK and the United States. The incident has been described as inspiring others to take personal initiative and act decisively in a crisis. News agent and former policeman Mohammed Afzal cited Smeaton as inspiration for his facing down and repelling a would-be armed robber. In late July, Smeaton returned to his old job as baggage handler at the airport. Later in the year, he accepted a job as head of security at a nearby company.
Awesome.
So he was on a smoke break, got involved, and then they're just like, you should be head of security.
So, he got involved during his smoke break, basically beat down a man who was on fire and helped a man with a broken leg.
He said there were 3
Nice.
explosions, right?
That's what he
I like
said.
the idea of him like smoking a cigarette. There's 1 explosion. He's like, I'm still on break. There's a second one, and he's like, There's a third one. He's like,
I'm almost done.
and he like flicks a cigarette. And he's
Fine,
like,
God damn it!
I guess I'll go help.
Fine.
Again, he
I've been
beat-
working this job for too goddamn long.
Again, he beat down a man who was on fire.
Yeah.
Really, should we like, thank you for your service? The man's on fire.
Yeah, it's not like it was like the fucking like, like Floyd Mayweather in like a fucking like, terrorist outfit or something. Like it wasn't like it was a dude on fire who apparently had 90% of his body on fire.
The guy's feeling, oh, this guy's trying to punch me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, good on you, I guess, but like, tone
He was.
down.
Hang on, you'll love this. He was later awarded the Queen's Gallantry Medal, presented by the Queen at a ceremony at Buckingham Palace on March 4th, 2008.
Yeah, good for him.
Fuck that dead bitch.
In July,
To be fair, Austin said good for him.
it was announced that
And
7,
Joseph said, fuck that dead bitch.
in July 2010, it was announced that 7 others would be awarded the Queen's Commendation for bravery for their parts in combating this threat. Anyway, Bilal was taken to intensive burn units where over the next 5 days, he had to be revived twice and died shortly a month after the attack.
Sure.
All right.
I mean, he was planning on dying. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
But he just died the slowest, most
I
agonizing.
mean, a
sounds
month
horrible.
later,
That sounds
after
horrible.
90% of your body is burned, that's a long month.
I have to assume that in those moments, he was like, oh, this is a bad idea.
So you're going to talk to us and just like, oh,
Why did I do this?
I like
All
the
right.
idea of him in his head while he's on fire, running through the airport, like just fucking knocking duty-free cigarettes and booze off the shelf. Like he's just like, it's going perfectly.
I'm going to die any second
like in
now.
his head, he's like, any minute now. Nope, still hurts.
I didn't realize how much burning would take a long time.
Just like, I thought it'd be like a minute.
Wait, I've been
20
on,
minutes is horrible.
I've been on fire for 30 minutes.
So no one wants to put this fire out, no?
Right.
No? Okay.
At this point,
I've ran down these halls. I have seen 5 extinguishers. Not one.
oh no,
Not
no
one.
no one.
So December 17th, 2009, Abdullah was convicted at Woolwich Crown Court of conspiracy to murder for the incidents in both London and Glasgow and sentenced to life imprisonment with a requirement that he spend at least 32 years in jail, which
32.
I think that's kind of wild. 32 years?
I mean, but what did he really do, though? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how many
tried to
laws
kill
did he
thousands
break?
of
You know what I mean?
And this is my favorite part of the whole thing.
Wait. Did any like civilians die during this?
No civilians died.
No, he didn't hurt anybody, I don't think.
He broke a dude's leg
Yeah, he broke a dude's leg. And
and
32 years,
inconvenienced a lot of
maybe.
other people.
I want you to
32
think.
years is kind of hefty. I gotta be honest.
I want you to think about what you did.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe like you guys are gonna get mad. Maybe like 5 with good behavior.
Well, I mean, like, other people have done worse.
Other people have done worse.
Yeah.
People are serving life sentences for a dime bag right now in this country.
100%.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
Hashtag end the war on drugs.
hashtag fucking for real, dude.
I mean, seriously, I sold weed and I'm white and I got a good lawyer. I could have seen worse.
My name's Austin.
Anyway, so this is my favorite part of the whole
That's how much
thing.
I love you, Grant. I'd take the fall for you.
I'm Grant too.
Like just
I
the
am
Spartacus
Grant.
moment. No, I'm Grant.
You'll have to lock us all up, and they're just like, okay,
Okay, yeah, we were planning to do that anyway.
yeah.
That's
Well, we're
easy.
gonna
Yeah,
beat you
sure.
up
All 4 of
first.
you. Yeah, no problem.
If you're gonna tase him, you're gonna have to tase us all. All right, well that sounds good. We're gonna do that
Four
anyway.
of you idiots. Yeah, fine.
So this is my favorite part of the whole thing. As you can imagine, an intense investigation ensued because of the event. Forensics later found out the bombs were rigged with gallons of gasoline and propane tanks meant for outside gas heaters. All in all, each vehicle was reported to have at least 60 liters of gasoline, gas cylinders, nails, propane, yada, yada, yada. Scotland Yard reported that while the gas contained in the canisters and the quantity of the canisters remains fully unknown, further details would be given after they were analyzed by forensic experts, which said in the Counterterrorism Command, it is obvious that if the device had detonated, there could have been serious injury or loss of life. But it later became found out that the device could not have been detonated because it lacked an oxidizer.
So there you
So it
go.
would have just been a big fire.
I could not
Yeah.
believe it. I forgot the oxidizer.
I mean,
Shit.
stay tuned for part 2 where we'll give you tips on how to be a successful terrorist. 10 ways you can blow up a government building.
Jesus Christ, don't.
Oh, no? All right.
All right.
I like that. Netflix had a whole thing where, like, how to be a terrorist or, a
Murderer.
dictator.
Yeah.
And
They did.
Oh, yeah. How
Yeah.
to be a dictator.
They
Yeah.
did another one
Yeah.
on how to be a cult leader. Might be fun for us.
Yeah.
How to be a terrorist.
We could do that.
attacker. What do you think?
I
Don't
like it
forget the
because-
oxidizer is going to be
Step
on that
1,
list.
be a narcissist.
Right.
Step 2, have a goal.
Step 3, have a good fucking plan on how to do it. Actually,
then-
a good plan.
Step 6, have a good time.
I think step 4 is
Step 10 is have fun.
I think step 4 is have no women in your life, because I feel as though if
It's better if you don't have a woman in your life to talk sense to you.
yeah, I feel like if they just had a girlfriend, then she'd be like,
Maybe you shouldn't.
yeah,
Dude, I have bad
I
ideas.
lived my whole life for this.
I have bad ideas all the time. And my wife really does a good job at telling me no.
God bless her.
Yeah. Honestly,
She's the best. She is. I'm terrible.
behind
she's
every
awesome.
failed terrorist is a woman who left him.
Right.
No, I don't like that. Bazungu. No, or whatever it was.
bazinga, baby girl.
Yeah, Jamie, that was a terrible thing you just said.
Hey, most of these people, they're dead and shit.
There's
good.
his
That's good.
catchphrase.
That's his catchphrase. That was good.
The thing he says all the time.
Every day.
By the way, for you listeners, we've already figured out Jamie's catchphrase, and it's what's it called? You say that all the
Yeah,
time.
duh. Yeah.
You, like how do they not know who you are? You're the what's it called guy. I'm the borderline racist guy, and
That's true.
Is that what I say?
you say it all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah,
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
What's it
Yeah,
called?
duh.
Yeah.
What's it called? What's it called?
You pretend like you don't know English.
Oh no, I don't know English most of the time.
Yeah, you got it.
Have you met him?
You got it pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. But it's pretty close.
None of
Like,
us are perfect, Grant.
Yeah.
You guys are in my close circle. But
His
like,
understanding of English.
there's a lot of people where like if you're not like if I don't see you nearly every day, you are labeled as like what's his face or what's her face all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In fact, that happened with an ex-fiance
Mhm.
of mine where like literally like we were at a party and she was in earshot and I was like, oh, what's
Hold
her
on.
face?
Anne or the?
I guess the.
Gotcha.
You forgot your ex-fiance's name?
I know her name, but in the moment I forgot her name. And I was
Ah.
like, what's your face? And then she heard me say that. And she's like, you forgot my fucking name? And I was like, I mean, for a second, yeah. And she got really mad.
I do that all the time.
Wonder why it didn't work out.
Women just,
Deal maker. Red flag.
women just get mad.
And that's Austin's catchphrase.
I'll take full credit for that one, baby.
Welcome to the man's podcast.
shit.
And that's another great episode of Murder Schmurder.
Another flawless episode.
Jamie, over.
Joseph over.
Austin, over.
Grant.
Tell us how you'd blow up a government building. Email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com.
That's don't email trashville@gmail.com.
Tell us how you'd suck at terrorist attacks. Don't email trashville@gmail.com. What's it called?
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
You did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called?
What's it called?
What's it called?
What's it called?
Actually, we're going to set up a new email.
What's it
called?
called at gmail.com?
Honestly, that's not a bad idea. What's it called at gmail.com?
Yeah. What's it called at gmail.com?
2 apostrophes, capital S.
Don't hold us to it. It's still don't email trashville.com. I've 5 shots of Fernet later.
That's Murder Schmurder over and out.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Like what you hear? Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want the gang to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. Murder Schmurder is produced by Jamie. Our tracking engineer is Grant. And our mix and mastering engineer is Julie. Incidental music and our theme song is provided by Jules. This has been another production of